Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin and United States President Donald Trump have held the high-stakes meeting in Alaska. After the meeting, they also had a press briefing. Let's take a look at the key takeaways from the meeting. And as we see that the meeting did focus on some of the good aspects as Donald Trump and Putin have focused on, let's take a closer look as to what we can understand largely as the big takeaways. The first is that there is a headline there. We see that there is no deal until there is a deal in the statement by United States President Donald Trump. He has said that there are still, in fact, some progress that has been made, and what would be seen coming out of it is to be monitored in days to come. Second takeaway is that he will probably meet Putin again soon, and he says that next time in Moscow. What we see also during the press conference is that Putin, in a rare sighting, switched to English and asked him to visit and meet next time in Moscow, to which Donald Trump replied that we can see a chance of that happening. The another takeaway is that Putin has said that sincerely interested in ending Ukraine war. That's also one of the biggest takeaways, where Putin has asserted hope and confidence into ending the prolonged war against Ukraine. As both the leaders did meet, there is no final agreement that we see on the table, but there are talks that have happened in the direction. Now, Putin also thanked Donald Trump for the friendly tone, says US-Russia should go back to the cooperation. And with that, it is also, in fact, the onset after the big isolation that Russia has been into the diplomatic fold by the United States. This is what also a meeting which is as crucial as it is historic for the ties of Russia and the United States. Now, we move forward as another takeaway is being concerned about the big summit. Putin also, in fact, noticed that there was a friendly tone in how United States President Donald Trump reacted. It is also one-on-one meeting that shifted to larger format. President Donald Trump and the Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Middle Eastern envoy Steve Witkoff. These were the part of the crucial, in fact, dignitaries who were apart from the Donald Trump in the meeting, and one-on-one larger format also then in fact witnessed that the foreign ministers Sergei Lavrov and advisor Yuri Ushakov were also present in a format that was much elaborative and in fact detailed apart from the two leaders meeting. Now, neither the Ukraine nor the Europe were invited. Zelensky has said that expected a stronger position from the United States. Zelensky has also reacted on this and said that a stronger position was expected from the United States on this, while Trump has put the onus on Zelensky to say on him to make a deal. While this has been in fact made in complete focus about the statement, the buck has been passed to the Ukrainian President Zelensky, and as we see, viewers, what remains to be coming out of is also positioned on the stance that will be taken by the Ukrainian President Zelensky here. While we see that these developments are being tracked over, we also have Gautam Mukherjee joining me live on the telecast. Appreciate you joining me live. Thank you very much, sir, for being live with us. And all right, now in fact, as we track the details, Donald Trump has said that the buck has been stopped at the Ukraine, and the ball is in court. And while we see that there has been no formal agreement, but it remains to be seen how Ukraine also pitches in and reacts to or is going to decide the future of the conflict that is still in not complete clarity. How do you look at this?
Is that for me?
Yes.
You know, I think this war is on its way to an end. I think substantially Putin and Trump have agreed the contours. Now, America is really 9/10 of the law when it comes to NATO. They're the main finance, they're the main armaments, even if NATO does buy it. Zelensky is a beneficiary of NATO and US support, without which he cannot keep this war going. So while there is a great deal of rhetoric right now from the media of every side, you've got all the anti-Trump media in the US, you've got the Europeans, you've got the Ukrainians, and you've got various members of the EU and those who want to be in the EU, want to be in NATO, etc. So there's a lot of confusion. But the fact is that Putin and Trump have more or less agreed. And it's the same as what Trump said before going into the meeting. There will be territory swaps. There will be territory conceded. The Russian-speaking areas will all go to Russia. And if you remember right at the beginning of this war, these were the parts that were liberated and declared independence, even though the war overtook that particular occurrence. Now what Trump has to do is lean heavily on NATO, as well as Zelensky and the people in Ukraine, to bring this to a close. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He's had the courtesy of not declaring that this is over and the deal is done. As a matter of courtesy and perhaps some caution, he will now talk to NATO. He will now talk to Zelensky and make sure they agree to these terms. The last but not least, as Ambassador Goel also said, there is no question of Ukraine joining NATO, and this must be a solemn guarantee given to the Russians before they sign on the dotted line. They can, if they like, Ukraine can join EU, but it cannot join NATO because it is the last buffer state left between Russia and the West. They have consistently over the years crept in, even though they gave promises to Gorbachev. But from that time, over 30 years ago, they've been creeping forward. Country after country has joined NATO, and now they were at Moscow's doorstep. This is it. It cannot go any further. And I think Putin and Trump are agreed on it. Not only that, I think there will be a lot of announcements of business deals, mineral and other resources in the Ukraine will be exploited now, not only by America, but also by Russia. I think this is going to be a new thaw between America and Russia as a consequence of this meeting, possibly as suggested. Trump will visit Moscow and things will normalize more and more in the next few days and months. Thank you.